follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Off and running here on a Thursday. We are live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. This show, as always, is brought to you by DraftKings. We are loaded today. We're going to have Paul Stone. It's an unusual time because of the game being on Monday, the national title game. So Paul's going to be on today talking Washington, Michigan in 45 minutes. Brad Powers on the program today with the same thing. Mike Palm is going to be in studio, and Mike Pritchard will be on the show today as well, Pauly. It is it's a sad time of year, right? Because we have no Thursday night football game to discuss today.
Yeah, and also Sunday with Scott Hansen signs off. I mean, that'll be it. We'll see you in September.
Oh,
that's how that sucker goes too.
That's why I said yesterday, I want that national title game. I know it's going to change next year, but if they could just drag this out for a couple of more days and then give it to us next Thursday, like Wednesday or Thursday instead of Monday, that'd be great.
And once we get to the next playoff, then we're going to have, it'll be bedlam once we get to the middle of December.
Yeah.
You're going to have big-time playoff games, NFL games, and in the quarters in the first round of the college football playoff. And that's going to be nuts from this middle of December till late January.
Right,
now,
so that's,
with the title game January 20th in college.
We'll get the playoff for a full month next year.
Yeah.
Not just 1 week.
That's right.
How much better is that?
Yeah.
That's tremendous. But you're right. Sunday, obviously, the final day. The sun's going to set on the 2023-2024 regular season. And as is the case every year, right? Late and specifically the final week of the year, the way these teams treat the games, they have something locked up. They might not be playing for anything. Guys are hurt. You know, it's a messy quarterback situation going into this week. And I don't know, would you say that Week 18 as of right now has been a trickier handicap than preseason games? Because then you get a pretty good read, like in August, when coaches come out and tell you pretty much what the game plan is going to be. Trying to, decipher what's going to happen still a few days out, a little bit tricky here. I know the quarterbacks are going to be in play now for a lot of these teams, but how long are they going to go? How long are they going to be out there on the field?
Well, some weird stuff can happen, too.
Sure.
I mean, this is who knows what guys like Gabbert are going to do and Carson Wentz. So a lot of this stuff isn't a surprise. We knew what Cleveland was going to do. I don't know what Vic McVay's doing. This really surprises me what the Rams are doing. So it's Carson Wentz against Sam Darnold. And then not only is it no Stafford, no Darnold, no Kupp, no Williams. And once Puka gets 30 yards and gets the rookie record, he's out of the game. So it's like, okay, you want the 7 and you're going to take on Dallas? Okay. Right. I mean, that's how they're going to play it. And then they could still win the game, though, I guess. But Carson Wentz could win the game. But then you're going against Darnold. And then what does San Francisco do? And you're right. How long are these guys in the game? And now it's no one playing with Cleveland, and it's Driscoll. And that's up to 7 with Cincinnati.
By the way, first half numbers are starting to pop.
Uh-huh. That's a good angle. Yeah.
I bet the Bengals -3, -15 cents before the show started in that first half. And look at the way the game now has completely moved all the way up to 7. And you've been all over this game since Monday. You've bet it a couple of times on the Bengals side. And it is what the first number that you got on the game, by the way, was it 4.5?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first half is 3. Jeff Driscoll has been with the team for 4 or 5 days, and he's going to be making the start, and they're going to be sitting everybody. And now the closer we get here to this game, the more people are suggesting they don't want the Bengals now. They don't want to go winless in the division this year, and they might want to finish the season on a bang.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's coming from the head coach.
Sure,
I love it.
Sure.
Can't beat that quote.
So now I'm betting on Driscoll looking really bad in the first half, and the Bengals players being hyped up for this game, and I'll lay the 3. I'll gladly lay the 3 here.
Okay. That's right.
There are other spots like that because the Rams game, like you said, so once Nakua gets the record, that's probably going to happen right away in the game. Like, let's just pepper him with easy targets, get him the record, get him out of the game. But the Niners, other than Purdy and McCaffrey, I think they're going to go.
Yeah.
The way it sounds. So is that another first half angle that is worth taking a wager on?
But as far as the game, though, I wouldn't fall out of my chair if Wentz scores like 24 points, though.
Well, here's the thing, right?
The guy's a veteran.
Yeah, Wentz is going to want to go out there and look good, right? When's the last time he played? Top of your head. It's been a while.
Washington.
Right? So, his career just took, you want to talk about a 180 from where he was at, the MVP favorite before he got hurt, the year the Eagles won, and then since then, just completely off a cliff. Yeah, that guy wants to go out there and play well and look good. He's a pro. He has pride.
Yeah, right. I'm the same way with Kansas City. You still want to go 3.5 with Easton Stick against Blaine Gabbert?
There's no way I could do that.
I know, that's crazy.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I understand how the Chiefs are going to approach this game and say what you want about Blaine Gabbert, but you still, on the flip side, give me the case for the Chargers here. Make the case for L.A. Mm-hmm. Other than Chiefs aren't playing their starters. Okay, fine.
Sure. How many Charger fans will be at the game? I mean, it's on to next year, and they've narrowed down their coaching search to apparently 4 people. And they're going to swing for the fences. Yeah. So that's all about next year. And let's just, again, I can't wait to talk to Mike Pritchard about the U-Hauls being backed up.
How many teams fit that category this week?
The great Mike Rozier story Pritchard's told many times. He's on the Falcons team. He's screaming. Was a rookie. Come on, guys. No, I think it was, yeah. Come on, guys, let's go. Let's do a bet. Shut up, rookie. We get paid Monday, was what Rozier said to him. So imagine what these veterans are like when they know the season's over and they just don't want to get hurt and let's just get out of here and start the vacation.
Yep. So it starts Saturday. We're going to get Tyler Huntley versus Mason Rudolph. Really no surprise there. There was a back and forth this week about Lamar. If he does play, how long could it go for? Not going to happen. That's going to be Huntley Rudolph there. Then the Wentz-Darnold game. And then the rest, and I think people are going to panic and it's going to be recency bias. But we need to be reminded, this happens every single year. It's Gabbert, Driscoll, Wentz, Mullins, Simeon, Stick, Tyrod Taylor, Sam Howell, Mason Rudolph, Stidham among the starting quarterbacks for this week. Mm-hmm. It is what it is.
Yep. Other observations. It is historic what's going to happen this weekend. You can't count the early 80s when we had the strike year. I mean, 20 teams are still in the mix for a playoff spot. In week 18.
It's the most since 1982. Yeah, you're right. You're exactly right.
The other thing is we have weather. It's going to be cold in Cincinnati. My guy Richie and others reached out in Boston. They could get dumped on during the game, before the game. Big snowstorm. Could be a Belichick special. I want to beat the Jets again. Go out a winner. And maybe it could be a game like that Monday night against Buffalo where the weather's so bad you can't even do anything with the passing game.
Sure.
And Belichick has something ready to go.
So a little bit later on, like an hour from right now, we're going to go. We have several questions this week about the betting board in the NFL from a point spread perspective. This is one of them. Why is there money on the Jets this week? Because of the snowstorm? That wouldn't be the reason why. Is it because people are thinking the Jets don't want to lose 16 straight times to the Patriots?
Oh, yeah. Good luck with that.
Well, who cares? Yeah. Where was the pride before this? You think they didn't want to snap it when it was at 5 games or 7 or 10? They've never been able to do anything about it.
Right.
And Belichick against the Jets quarterback situation for his entire career,
right.
It's been total domination.
He's won those games with Mac Jones, who hasn't done anything.
Correct.
That's right, yeah.
I don't understand the money on the Jets this week.
Right. And they've been so bad offensively, and the Patriots have been good down the stretch. Ruined Denver's season and went into Pittsburgh and won. So I'm baffled by that. I'm baffled by the Minnesota money. Like our guy said from Dungeon of Doom, it's like Dan Campbell's not going to BS me. He says he's going to play these guys, and they've turned the page and they're ready to go. I believe Dan Campbell. Nick Mullins moved it on the first time, but still, I think Detroit's out there to prove a point and get a win. You never know. Stranger things have happened. Yep. Maybe Dallas stubs their toe. You never know. The other thing I can't get, some of this stuff isn't far-fetched. There are 2 angles I love here. Jacksonville can still lose and make the playoffs. It's not far-fetched. They need a Pittsburgh and Denver loss. And the other one is the Saints could still get in here and sneak in.
Yes, they can.
Not the division, the wild card. Saints win, Green Bay loses, Seattle loses.
That's all. That's possible.
You're talking about a 3-point fan, a 2.5-point favorite.
Sure,
that absolutely could happen. Mm-hmm. So, and then the Atlanta money, which is surprising, little Atlanta money on the road.
Right.
But that's not far fetched either. That the Saints could maybe be the 7 seed here. So there's so much going on here, Week 18, and the late games are going to be bananas.
It's fascinating. Yep. So I bet the Bengals first half before the show. Uh-huh. I'm pondering a first half bet on the 49ers as well. Because if those starters are going to go out there, not named Purdy and McCaffrey, okay, I'm fine with that. And I want to know again how the Eagles are going to approach this game. Because do they actually...
They need a win.
They
need to look good. They need to play a complete game.
What if they flip it and say we're not playing anybody?
I think that's...
Cowboys are going to win. They're 13-point favorite. Screw it. We're sitting our guys.
Well, you got a scoreboard watch. I mean, what if it's 7-0 Washington first?
That's exactly right. Yeah. I don't know how you could do that.
Yeah, A.J. Brown's saying all the right things, too, but there's trouble in paradise there, no doubt. I mean,
I want
Uncle
your thoughts.
Sal lit him up yesterday.
He did. He was awesome yesterday on the show. Here's one mock draft, and if it would fall like this, I think it would be unbelievable. This is from tankathon.com. They do a great job with some of the NBA and NFL stuff. They have the Bears going Caleb Williams, number 1, holding the pick. Drake Maye to Washington, number 2. Jaden Daniels, Heisman Trophy winner to the Patriots at number 3. So quarterback. They have Marvin Harrison going 4th to the Cardinals.
Ooh.
Neighbors going 5th to the Giants. Brock Bowers 8th overall to the Jets. Michael Penix 9th to the Falcons now.
Really?
They said big-time riser after what he looked like against Texas.
Oh, come on. The Jets need an offensive lineman. You can't go tight end there. Oh, man.
I know. And then they have Rome Odunze going to the Bears at number 10. So if they
I love it.
If they would trade Fields and go Caleb Williams number 1 overall and then take Rome Odunze number 10, is that not like a phenomenal start to the draft?
That is awesome.
Like even I'm a guy who says Bears need to trade if they get like 3 first-round picks. If they could do this and like Odunze would be there, and I think he would be, and they would take him and then tag team him and have DJ Moore and some of those weapons now on the team along with Caleb Williams.
Once again, it is staggering and mind-boggling how many people were not familiar with Washington until the playoff game. Embarrassing.
Win some, lose some is up next. Maybe something like this was inevitable, but it actually resulted in a 10-minute delay last night. We'll tell you why coming up next.
Last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Fly, Pelicans, fly. Pelicans money line 2-1. Pounded the T-Wolves on the road. New Orleans improves to 26-8-1 ATS. First half.
Now where are you at with the Timberwolves?
Yeah, I told you, a little concerned, no doubt.
Panic time? Okay.
Yeah, they were down 20 in the Garden the other day. It was a bad job. A little bit of a funk here. Heat plus 185. Oh, boy. The Los Angeles Lakers are 24th in offensive efficiency. How? Impossible. With LeBron and AD, Darvin Ham, you got to do a better job, and they lose at home to the Miami Heat.
Well, the other players on the team need to do a better job as well.
That's true, but also, the trade. I mean, Tim McMahon made a great point. You could have had Mike Conley. Not only you traded for Russell, then you gave Russell money, and that's just... How many times has this guy been benched? And now it's difficult to trade the guy.
It's a really bad way to start the homestand, as we talked about yesterday.
Yep. Hawks plus 2 went off the favorite. That's a tough spot for OKC. They probably got in at 5 in the morning, and they were down big. They were down 18 with 3 minutes left. They cut it to 3. But the Hawks get the win. Couldn't get stops.
I thought the game was going to be the exact opposite. So there were 2 ways to handicap that game. One was how it actually went. They put everything into that game against the Celtics the night before, and they came out and they were slow, and that's why it cost me. I thought they were going to come out on a high, be really good first quarter, first half, and then run out of gas. It was the exact opposite. And again, they don't sit guys, and they've been awesome all year long with rest disadvantage and with no rest whatsoever. Hawks got him last night.
Virginia 12-16, beat Louisville by 24. Western Carolina pick up to 3.5, won by 9. Oklahoma State 16.5 up to 20, won by 19. Seton Hall money line plus 235. Rutgers Ohio State over 131 up to 136.5, 76-72. VCU St. Bonaventure over 132 up to 138, 89-78. Subscribe, be part of the team, vsin.com. Our radio and podcast friends, you always want to see these tweets and videos. We got the doggy daycare bus in Alaska. And you have the tour as well. Well, they got the bus here with the donuts. Everyone gets a donut here. And they're all looking around, and he opens it up. Okay, guys, take one. They do this at doggy daycare where they have the donuts specifically for the dogs. Here you go. Here you go. Come in one at a time, right? One at a time. The guy puts it down, puts his face right in there. Now it's your turn, buddy. Pick one. There you go. Give me that.
The tasty doggy donuts.
That's right.
I wonder
Good.
how much money there is in something like that, right? Where you cater to people who absolutely spoil their dogs rotten, like I do, and then they make like certain treats like this. I bet you they're printing money.
Look at this guy. Sure. This guy's got a Santa hat on. He gets it too. Now, the guy doing the video, we don't have the sound up. The one dog didn't get a treat because he said bad plumbing. He goes, you can't have one. You might have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, he called the guy out?
The poor guy. Yeah, he calls him out. I mean, come on. That's not fair in front of everyone like that.
Yeah.
The whole group. There he is right there. I think he made... Oh, look at this little guy at the end. Hey, this is awesome. We'll put that up later on Instagram. At Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. This guy's got it all figured out. Not a care in the world. The dog... He's in the pool. And look, he make the man-made paddleboard, and he's just got the floaties, and he's on 4 of them next to the ball.
Wow.
This is just, oh, man, he's got it all figured out. I'm not getting out of the pool. I'm loving it.
I think people watching certain parts of the country now and up in Canada are like, now that football season's almost done, can we just fast forward to pool season?
That's right. Rough out there. My God, the low is 28 coming up next week here. No good. And this guy playing peekaboo. Popping up and popping down with his head. Look at this, behind the flower pot. You can see him. Can you see him? Comes up with the owner, playing hide and seek. I see you. Open the door. Hey, how you doing?
Okay.
And he comes back. Then he lowers his head. He pops back up. I couldn't find him. Goes, where's my dog? I thought I saw him. He's hiding behind the flower pot. Oh, that's awesome. Lose some. Loyola Chicago under against St. Louis. 148 down to 142.5. 80-73. Denver, Idaho State under. 154.5 up to 149, down to 149, 95-82. And the Kings from 2 up to 5.5 beat Orlando by 3 in double overtime. Hell of a game.
Sabonis had 22, 23, and 12 last night.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty good game.
Hell of a win by the Clippers, too. They're up 20 in Phoenix and got the win. They are on a sick run. If you're looking for a betting edge for the championship game, we have you covered. Michigan, Washington, Monday night. And you get every play, every guest, and every host. Don't miss out. Limited time offer. VSiN.com/subscribe. Sign up. $9.99. Become part of the team. NFL playoffs. Everything right around the corner. Oh, I forgot one. Thanks, guys. Lose some. One more. Wayne Morgan watches every day. I asked you the question about college rule.
PI
in NFL, or your wife is on time now for the next 10 years and never late. My mother's obituary, Mary Morgan, passed away Thursday, November 24, 2022. She was late for everything. Her funeral service was supposed to start at 2:45. In honor of her, we began the service at 3. Great job, Wayne Morgan. Great job. And a phenomenal tweet. There you go.
I think, well,
Thanks, guys.
obviously a lot of people in the audience can relate to that.
Yeah. You have to lie. You got to say, hey, dinner's at 6:30.
right.
You
That's
tell
right.
them it's
Well, especially when like it's her idea, we have to leave at 6 o'clock on the dot to get out of the house and get there on time. And then it's still 6:08, 6:12. I just need 2 more minutes. I'm almost ready. Not quite. It's so infuriating. Here is what caused a 10-minute delay last night in that Thunder-Hawks game. Well, you all know that they drafted 2 different players by the same name, spelt a little bit differently. Jalen Williams. They have 2 different Jalen Williams on the team. Paul, last night there was a 10-minute delay because they couldn't figure out how many fouls the one Jalen had. 10-minute delay. It took them 10 minutes to figure this out. So you always thought that once this happened in that draft, like that's probably going to cause some confusion. Actual real game time last night, it did for 10 minutes. But so I've also learned a lesson here early on in the season. The Hawks are the worst team in the league ATS. They've covered 8 games this year. I've bet against them twice. Both times they threw a no-hitter. It was basically the perfect game. Once was against Houston 2 weeks ago. Blitzed them. They were awesome. It was like their Mona Lisa. And last night they did it with part 2, and got them really good. Because again, the Thunder they don't rest guys, and we saw that last night. They could have waved the white flag early in that game, like in the third quarter. Never did. Played everybody until the final gun. They had a shot at the buzzer to tie the game and go to overtime after they were getting killed in the fourth quarter still.
I love this team's attitude. And even though it didn't work out last night, Dort's had a great year and he's improved his shot. He was a liability with his jumper. You also have Chet Holmgren. I know, again, Tim McMahon, I was listening to his podcast. After their big win, he asked him about what have you proven? What do you think you've proven this far? He goes, I haven't proven bleep. I played 30 games. Who cares? I'm just trying to get better every day. I love their attitude, and I love how this team and again, I saw it yesterday on ESPN. The amount of first-round picks they have the next 5-6 years, this is nuts. So Sam Presti, the GM, keeps saying, let us have our breakfast first. So I think a trade is a long ways off. And if it is, it's for depth. But it's
not going to be a superstar player.
They're so set up for the future. But that's right. That's what Presti said. Let us enjoy our breakfast, and we're processing, and we're looking at several different things here because we have so many picks.
Yeah, well, the thought of this team getting somebody like Lauri Markkanen is not going to happen because the Jazz asking price is going to be ridiculous, and he will not obviously bend over for that. Another guy, we got this message on X yesterday. One of our viewers suggesting Kelly Olynyk would be like the perfect player for this team. That's what we're talking about. A player like Kelly Olynyk would be great as an addition for the depth. Another guy who's actually a bigger type of player. If OKC would add somebody like him, you don't have to go get like a really big name player is a bad idea. I don't think you want to mess up with what they have going right now. Mm-hmm. And by the way, this is only, as Presti and Holmgren both said, forget this year. This is the very beginning of what this team could be for the next 5, 6, 7 years. Yep. If they can keep the core guys together. And I know that guys are eventually going to get their max. It's going to be tough to finagle, but trusting Presti here for a second to get it done, this team's going to be a viable contender in the Western Conference for many, many years.
Lakers under 500. Golden State under 500. Lakers more likely to miss the playoffs and maybe be a championship contender. Minnesota off to a great start. OKC, Denver, still have to worry about the champs. Clippers playing great ball. Mm-hmm. Phoenix trying to get healthy, but don't have any depth. One injury away from imploding. This is just how about the Pelicans? The run that the big three are on there. The offensive efficiency rating with McCollum, Ingram, and Williamson, they've done. So
that team always gets lost in the shuffle, I think, because Zion is banged up more than he actually plays. And the thought is, though, if he could ever put it together and play a majority of the season, again, they reached the 1 seed at one point last year, mm-hmm. and then it kind of fell apart. If they could play the entire year together, and let's say that he would give them 60 games, 65 games, whatever in that neighborhood, and be ready for the playoffs, they're not an easy out.
Yep.
They can absolutely make a deep run.
Yep. And
then, poor Portland, they're so bad. They allowed Luka had 30 at halftime last night, and Kyrie had 22 at halftime. So we'll recap a little bit more of what took place last night. And I do have odds on players who could get dealt and their next team. We'll kick those around next here on VSiN.
Before you make your next bet, be sure to visit vsin.com. Check the current betting splits data. Want to know where the money and bets are moving in every NFL or bowl game? It's updated with DraftKings odds every 5 minutes. Find out where the public's betting based on the number of tickets and where the money doesn't match the public opinion. We recently added soccer betting splits from around the world. Check it out every game, vsin.com/splits.
I'll try to put you on this one early. Tonight, when the overnights come out in the NBA, now, this is going to be wishful thinking on my part, but Atlanta plays Indiana on Friday. If that total is around 255, you just have to pound it to go over. But it won't open that low. I think the actual opener, Pauly, should be closer to 270.
I agree. Indiana has the best offense in NBA history, and they're, 28th in defense, and Atlanta is the same type, I think they're fourth or fifth in offense and can't guard anybody either. Remember
that game that they played earlier this year? We were laughing. The total was like 257, and they
got the 300 in play.
In regulation, it was like one. Yeah, they combined to go for more than 300 points combined in regulation.
Yeah.
So tomorrow night, the total tonight when it pops is probably going to be the biggest total that we've seen, maybe ever.
157, 152.
Yeah,
was the first meeting.
That's just. So I honestly think. Open it up 270 and see how it goes. People will probably bet the under a little bit on it, but there's no way, because we saw the Pacers-Bucks game open around, it was 258-ish last night, a little bit higher the previous game, and it flew over last night, and the Hawks games against OKC last night flew to the moon. That's got to be an all-star game type total when they opened that one up. Here's what I have. I'm looking at odds on players next team if they were to get traded. Bogdanovich, the player for the Hawks, who's plus 450 to win Sixth Man of the Year. The team with the shortest, if he's traded, the Boston Celtics 2-1.
Oh, come on.
I mean, is that the Bucks are 4-1, followed by Denver. And that could actually turn into like a bidding war between the Celtics and the Bucks for him, because he's obviously playing great basketball for the Hawks. He would be an incredible addition if the Celtics got him.
That was the thing. You wonder, certainly Milwaukee didn't expect it, and a lot of people didn't expect it, because when they made the Lillard trade, they think, okay, well, now we lose Holiday, but then Holiday probably goes to the Western Conference. Certainly not the Boston Celtics.
Right.
I mean, that caught a lot of people by surprise what that happened. So it's like, okay, well, we improved the team, and we think we're going to be the team to beat in the East, and that lasted for a couple of days because then Holiday goes to Boston.
The Sixers need to be in the running because they can make it happen again. They have the assets to make a trade like that happen. So they should be higher up, I think, on the odds board, but they're not even – I don't even see the Sixers listed for that Bogdanovich. The other Bogdanovich for the Pistons, his next team, Orlando 3-1, Boston 4-1, Denver 5-1. Do you think the Bulls are going to move DeRozan?
No, I think they'll trade Levine.
Okay, because next team for DeRozan is 2-1, Lakers 3-1. Levine is even money to go to the Lakers.
Yeah. Wow.
And so every team beyond that is 4-1 or higher. Let's see here.
Interesting fella. In one of Detroit's, they won 3 games. In one of their wins, they pounded the Bulls. Levine had 50 points and 0 assists in the game.
Yeah. Yep. Pascal Siakam, his next team, again, rumors at the beginning of the year had him possibly going to Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. Dallas 2-1 if they were to make a move. Memphis 3-1. Hawks. Why would the Hawks make 5-1? And again, I don't even see Philly listed. There they are, 10-1 to get them. And Markkanen, next team 3-1. Again, I would not bet that because I don't find any scenario where Presti's going to say, "Yeah, you want 3 first-round picks, maybe more." Yeah, here you go.
No, that's not happening. They want a serious haul. Mm-hmm. They want they expect, not that it's going to happen, but like a Gobert type haul for him.
Would you, if you're the Lakers, would you revisit Kyle Kuzma? Bringing him back to the team. They're 2-1 to get him. The Spurs are 3-1. Mavs
They want multiple ones, though, don't they?
I believe that's the case.
Yeah, that's. Can I get rid of Russell and trade Russell and then maybe land Kuzma? I don't want Zach LaVine. I don't think that's a good fit. Are we sure Darvin Ham's okay? Frank Vogel won a title, and they ran him out.
Well, it's a LeBron James team.
I know. He's running out of time.
I would have to answer that by saying, no, we're not sure that he's okay.
Yeah.
And last year did a great job, but, the shelf life for a LeBron James coached, guy, that's just not very long.
10 seed right now. And when I'm not saying it's on this level, but when he doesn't respect you, like David Blatt, remember they're in the huddle. And he scratched the play that Blatt drew up.
Running different
plays.
I'm
not running that crap.
Sure. The discussion for the Lakers could really be interesting coming up in about 2 weeks. Because, again, a lot of games at home against very stiff competition, if they don't navigate this well, it might be looking like last year where they had to come from the abyss to get out of it.
Right.
And they might be sinking even faster at this point.
Well, the comeback could be they won the in-season tournament. That's when they were motivated and they wanted the money, and LeBron wanted it for his legacy. And the other one was when they said must win, they went out and won at OKC. But, where's the sense of urgency here?
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to, you're in trouble right now. You're under 500 and you're the 10 seed. And there's, here come, Memphis. There's some teams there that could possibly catch you.
As for tonight's action, the Bucks are playing at the Spurs. Milwaukee's laying 9.5 on the road. The total opened up around 250 last night. It's dipped a little bit to 249.5. I don't know if I want an under in a Bucks game right now. In fact, I would actually look at maybe going with their team total over in this game tonight.
Yeah, Milwaukee's 21st in defense, and the Spurs are in the mid-20s as well. You're also talking top 5 in pace, both teams. So I'm with you. So tread lightly with a Milwaukee on a back-to-back, although it's national TV. Horrible job with the schedules you pointed out. No NFL. What are you doing? But
I said that in the break.
Yeah, great point.
The NBA has never done this before, right? Where they scheduled let's go back to last month. They had kind of a busy schedule every Thursday night against the NFL. I don't know, and they've never done that before. And now, first week, no NFL on a Thursday night. We have 2 games. I don't know why tonight you didn't put like 6 games on the slate.
Milwaukee beat them December 20th, 132-119. Spurs are 2-14 at home.
Yeah, I think their team total tonight's going to touch
Do it. Yep.
130, maybe even get close to 140 in that game.
The late game's interesting. Just like the Lakers, Golden State, plenty of issues. 16-17 on the season. Denver is 2-0 this year against Golden State. Both of them were at home. One of them was just recently on Christmas. Klay Thompson basically admitting I'm washed. And that's, and Kerr had to pull him aside and say, stop doing this woe is me stuff about I can't get my numbers anymore and try to be, a mentor and provide leadership to the other guys and don't hang your head. He was expecting Kerr to take him out of the game the other day, which didn't happen. But they have done a better job since Green with the suspension. But Denver laying 3 on the road here. Tough. The door's open now for the Nuggets. We got these big tickets on the T-Wolves and Thunder to win the division. And now Denver's only a couple games back, and they have a relatively easy schedule, at least compared to the other 2 coming up. And remember, they lead the league in fewest amount of back-to-back still remaining.
Yep. Again, going into the season, 3 teams with, superstar power, high expectations. The thought was they can make a deep run or, be a serious threat to win the West. Phoenix, they're the 9 seed. Lakers, they're the 10. Golden State, they're the 11. And I think at this point of the season, we have enough to go on to say that some of these other teams that are much younger in the Western Conference, I would trust them, and I like them much more than those teams. Denver, I think, again, once this whole season plays out and the carnage is starting to clear, Denver's going to be there, and they're going to be making a deep run in the playoffs again, as long as they stay healthy.
Yeah.
I think OKC is awesome. I've said that many, many times. I don't have to expand on that anymore. And now, Pauly, the way the Clippers are playing, what is it, last 12 games? Right around that neighborhood?
They've won 13 of 15. They're number 1, I think, at 3-point percentage, offensive efficiency.
Several key categories.
Everyone's locked in right now.
Now, I know that there was no Durant last night, but
No, they're up 20.
that team, again, look at what they did offensively, putting up 131 points, but it was George with 33 had a great game. Kawhi had 30. Harden had 22 and 11 in that game. And then, guys off the bench who are going to contribute. Powell was in the running to win 6th Man of the Year a couple years ago. He had 13. He's a 20-point scorer when you need it. Westbrook didn't do anything last night, but it took some time, and now that we're getting there.
Well, he bought into his role. I didn't know if that was going to happen. It did. They agreed that you come off the bench. We can't play you at the same time as Harden. You guys can't be on the floor together. And Westbrook is bought in here.
Again,
and this has been, and Lou's a good coach. So
yep, this is assuming full health. And that obviously can go sideways. But for 1 second here, assuming all these teams are going to be at full health, I think I'd take the Clippers over any of those teams that we just talked about at the bottom right now. Clippers are better than the Suns, they're better than the Lakers, and they're better than the Warriors. You concur?
Yep. And I can survive an injury as long as it's not Kawhi Leonard.
It can't be him.
I'm deep. Man, I got a good team. So I'm loving that 22-1 ticket.
Let's follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. I still want to give the Suns a little bit of time as I go back here and think about it, because we don't know what they're going to look like if they can be fully healthy. Durant didn't play in the game last night, but yeah. Paul Stone, professional sports bettor, up next. We'll get a few bets for the national title game from him, find out which side he likes next.
Great card tomorrow in the association. New customers can bet $5 and pocket $150 in bonus bets instantly, and you get the NBA League Pass for the rest of the season. Download the app, use promo code VSiN when you sign up. Great news, DraftKings Sportsbook. Also going to get Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson, all the Smoke podcast, DeMarcus Cousins. DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours.
Yeah, they've added, DK Network added a lot of great content yesterday. So that podcast has been wildly popular for a long time. I would love, of the 3 guys that are going to be on DK Network now, it would be so incredible to get either any of them in studio for a while, Barnes, Jackson, Boogie Cousins, and just talk about like road trips, places that are tough to play, LA, Miami, and once Las Vegas gets a team, a back-to-back, playing like in Salt Lake City, and then Vegas the next night.
I want to talk to Jackson about the malice in the palace. Run our test afterwards. Guys, you think we're going to get in trouble?
Should we not have done that?
Yeah.
Was that a mistake?
You punched a fan, Ron.
You ran up into the crowd.
It's like slap shot.
Yeah. Yes, exactly right. Professional sports bettor Paul Stone joins the program now. He's joined us every single week throughout the college football season. You can follow him on X. He's at Paul Stone Sports. It's good to talk to you today again, friend. How are you?
Doing well, guys. Just closing in on this national championship game and really looking forward to a interesting contrast in styles with Michigan and Washington squaring off Monday night in Houston.
Yeah, we'll get your opinion because you do have one on a side here between these two teams coming up in a few minutes. And before we do player props as well, just like your thoughts on Penix and what he actually means to the number potentially, what he would be worth overall, how good he is, because we see this a lot. Paul, we see this in the NFL. Quarterbacks who are afraid to throw it deep, and they never do. It's all dink and dunk for whatever reason. This guy doesn't care. He's one of the most unafraid quarterbacks I've ever seen in my entire life, and he makes it rain out there with his receivers, and he puts the ball like the pinpoint accuracy is unbelievable with him.
I mean, the guy's a marksman. I mean, he's like a surgeon. I kind of equate, and the beauty of it, too, that left-handed release, it reminds me of that beautiful left-handed baseball swing, that we fall in love with if we're baseball fans. And like you said, I mean, in college football and the NFL as well, so many quarterbacks, they inflate their completion percentage by these dinks and dunks, these short routes, even these mid-range routes. But Michael Penix Jr. in Washington, they have that vertical passing game. They do indeed throw it downfield. His last two games facing national championship elimination against Oregon and Texas, Penix has been 56 of 77, so 73% for 749 yards, almost 10 yards of completion, 9.7 yards per completion. So just incredible. If you took him out of Washington's lineup and replaced him with a backup, just off the top of my head, there would have to be at least a 5-point adjustment. And that's conservative, probably be more than that. I mean, he's the best quarterback in college football in the passing game without question this year and maybe in the last several years.
Yep, totally agree with that. So you do have a player prop that you like with one of the quarterbacks. It's not Penix. It's his counterpart in this game. It's J.J. McCarthy. He made a bunch of plays against Alabama. He was efficient in the passing game as well. But you want to look at him with the ground game. How are you approaching McCarthy here with the player prop?
I'm looking at his rush total of 21.5 right now available at DraftKings. McCarthy, he's an athletic guy, and he's a capable runner. He's had 601 rushing yards in his career there in Ann Arbor, averaged almost 4 yards a carry. The Wolverines, they just typically, haven't called on him much historically in the run game because they haven't had to. It's not what they do. But when you're playing for the gold ball, when you're playing for the national championship, and there's no tomorrow, you pull out all the stops, I think McCarthy's going to get some design carries as part of Michigan's offensive game plan. There's also the off-schedule plays where he'll scramble for some yardage. He's rushed for 25 or more yards 6 times out of 13 games this year. Had a nice 16-yard run against Alabama on that game-tying drive late in the game to send it to overtime. When you're betting a college quarterback's rush prop to go over, you have to be concerned about sacks. That yardage is subtracted from a quarterback's rush total in the college game. But Michigan, first of all, they do a good job of protecting the quarterback. And secondly, although Braylon Trice of Washington really created havoc on Texas's passing game this past Monday, Washington's defense, they only rank 130th out of 133 FBS teams in sack percentage this year. They sacked the quarterback on just 3.59% of the opposition's pass attempts. So McCarthy over 21.5 rush yards.
Okay, very good. How about a receiving prop?
Yeah, I'm going to look at Washington's tight end Jack Westover, his receiving total of 24.5 yards. Michigan, you have to recognize they've got one of college football's top secondaries, if not the top secondary in all of college football. Their sophomore cornerback, Will Johnson, certainly one of the better cover guys in the sport. So Room Odunze, Jalen Polk, Jalen McMillan, they're certainly going to get their opportunities, but I can see Penix again going to tight end Jack Westover on some of those underneath routes against the Wolverines. As bettors, we never want to succumb to so-called recency bias, but we got a taste of what Westover can do in Monday's semifinal victory over Texas. He finished with 6 catches for 59 yards, made some really nice catches. On November 11th, I think in the Huskies' 10th game of the year against Utah, another big game against another good defense, he had 7 catches for 64 yards. So 2 of the better defenses they've played, he's come up big. I think Washington's going to take away some, certainly not all, of Washington's downfield vertical passing game. I think Westover is going to get some targets. He's going to be paired up against a linebacker or a nickel. He's a tough cover for those type of guys. I like Westover over 24.5 receiving yards. That's my favorite of the 2 props.
It is. Okay, it's Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, Paul Stone, professional sports bettor. His podcast is also called the Paul Stone Sports Podcast. As for the side then, Michigan is a 4.5-point favorite. Again, this was the number for a long time as Washington was getting ready to play Texas before it crashed pretty much on game day down to as low as a field goal at some spots. They won it outright. Do you like the Huskies again with the points this week?
Yeah, and this is, I don't want to say it's a lukewarm recommendation, but for me, this is a really challenging handicap. I mean, you've got, as I mentioned, the contrast in styles. It's just, a difficult breakdown. You'd expect, first of all, Washington's going to churn clock with its run game, try to keep the ball out of Michael Penix Jr.'s hands. We talked about Washington's pass game and the fact that the Wolverines are very capable of defending the pass. Michigan only allowing 5.8 yards per pass attempt this year to rank in the top 5 nationally. Those numbers, though, obviously hadn't been accomplished against the likes of Penix and company. I mentioned how well Penix has played the last 2 games in elimination-type games. And on Washington's side, one of my concerns, certainly the availability of running back Dylan Johnson, who rushed for over 1,100 yards this year, injured late in the game against Texas, lower leg injury. Yesterday, Washington coach Kalen DeBoer did say he expects Johnson to play, but there's no transparency requirement in injury reports. Coaches can kind of use smoke and mirrors. They can even try to fool the opposing coaches. So I don't put too much stock in what DeBoer said yesterday. I think it's 70-30 he will play, but if he does, how effective will he be? So that's a concern there. But what it comes down to, I'm going to play the side, not going to play it at a high level just for a medium cheese pizza. But you look at Washington, 21 straight victories dating back to the middle of the 2022 season. Kalen DeBoer now 10-0 versus AP top 25 teams at Washington. And then if you combine his stints at Fresno State and Washington, DeBoer 8-1 against the spread as the betting underdog. Of those 8 covers, 7 have been outright victories. So pretty compelling numbers there for the Huskies. So give me a medium cheese pizza on Washington plus 4.5 on Monday over Michigan.
All right, very good.
Yes.
As always, another season in the books here now, Paul, and you're too kind of a human being and a person. You came on every single week, giving out 3 plays on a Tuesday. Obviously, this week a little bit different. But we love having you on. We love talking to you. Happy New Year, and best of luck, okay?
Hey, best of luck to everybody, and appreciate you guys having me on each week, and have a great national championship game.
Back at you.
Thank you.
I'm looking around right now, and only a couple of books, it looks like, have posted player props at this point. But I am seeing, so always shop around, right, and have as many outs as possible. For example, Jalen McMillan, another Huskies threat here in the aerial attack. He's between 60.5 and 66.5 receiving yards. Roma Dunze's 89.5 or 95.5. And then Jalen Polk is between 50.5 and 55.5.
Jeff Schwartz had a great line, who's been on the show, and he does the podcast with the Bear, Chris Felica. These 50-50 balls, it's 90-10 for because they're so good in coverage with Polk and Odunze. It's a good line.
Yeah, that seems kind of accurate, actually. Some NFL questions to ponder for the week. Do we trust this team to win by a touchdown or more, and would they be favored if they didn't need the game?
At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Ranked #1 in innovation for 10 consecutive years, and number 2 among public universities for employability. ASU isn't just ahead of the curve, it's creating new paths to success. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online, that's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.